because they're busy creating an Armageddon and they don't want me to die, yet the Armageddon's going to kill me. You're killing me. And you're praying so that I'll get involved in the game and create the Armageddon with you.
It's a massive contradiction.
I know, but you can't get through to them. But if you
Oh,
get through to religious people, because it's
impossible.
and I'm like, they all say that I believe in Satan. They all say that whatever God I'm listening to evil. And it's like, okay, let's just, does this make any sense to you? My God says that I got to be nice and loving to everybody. How is that evil? How is that an evil thing? My God says I can't sin. How is that evil? Like, I mean, if you
Yeah.
really want to break it down, what part of my beliefs looks anywhere near evil? Other than the fact that I would say Jesus didn't die on no cross for your sins. He died because of your sins.
Because of your sin.
And every time you sin, you're killing Jesus.
Mm.
But that is Satan talking.
Yeah.
That is the one reason why everybody thinks that I believe in Satan. And yet it's like, wait a minute, if you really believe the way I believe, doesn't that make sinning a little bit more responsible and accountable? Doesn't, I mean, if you really want to get forgiven and saved, doesn't that mean you're going to really pay attention to your sin? If you really, really, really do love Jesus and you know your sin is killing him, if you love Jesus that much, wouldn't it make it a little more important for every sin that you make? I mean, doesn't it make them more accountable?
Well, yeah, of course it does.
But they don't want to.
Is it? Weren't you invited to join a channel or something? And it was a religious sect or something.
Oh, yeah, that last conversation. Yeah, I know. They all thought I was evil. Yeah. They're all got illness. One's scared to death and gets anxiety and panic attacks. Like, I mean, severely ill because of his fears. But he's more religious than I am. God made those little spiders you're scared of. That's creating you to have an anxiety. And that was another guy that does the online sex because he doesn't believe that he's good enough to find a partner in real life. So he constantly is sinning by lying about himself that he's not good enough. That's a sin. God didn't make no idiot. God didn't make any mistakes. You know, God made everybody perfect, but you're going to lie to yourself and say that you're not perfect. But you still need love, so you go on the internet and have sex.
Yeah.
And you're ashamed of it. But these people are going to be saved because they believe Jesus died on a cross for them, so they're going to be saved.
There seems to be some kind of like it's like madness.
No. I when I crashed and seen everything, like it was like I was bombarded by information that just came at me from every direction. It was non-linear. Information comes one word after another after another. This came at me all at once. And I think that's what's going to happen with everybody. The more we destroy our planet, the more everybody's going to have this. Oh, I'm getting all of the info. I see all of the lies now. I don't know if everybody's going to get the same thing as me because, I mean, I had information about getting sick. I wasn't getting sick for like 15 years. it was that mother thing that mothers don't have time to get sick. So I kind of was watching, okay, what's the science that proves why I don't get sick or some other people get sick, you know? And so I knew it's just like my whole life experience gained a little bit of information from all of these avenues that all came together. You know, it's like my whole life has been sort of like fractal information, but when I
Mm.
cracked, everything got pulled together. You know, every
Mm.
piece of the puzzle was just, it's like I had a piece of every puzzle, but they weren't put together. And so when I crashed, it's like I got all of that information all at once. And then it's like, how do you explain it? Because it would take me a lifetime to explain it. And we live now in, you got to say it in, 100 texts, or I've lost
Mm.
interest. We all have a very short attention span now, mostly because of the computer. We do not have the time to read a 1,000-page book.
No.
We want to know the point in one paragraph, less than a paragraph. Make one sentence. Twitter is like, you got to prove a point in one sentence. You have to get somebody's attention in one sentence, or forget it, it doesn't make any sense. So
I've been on Twitter.
that's been another struggle. That's where most people that are homeless, that are stuck in pain, they do see a bigger picture. There's no question about it. I mean, if I sit and talk
Mm.
with any of them, they are very, very intelligent people. They are more intelligent. I think of myself as fairly intelligent. I mean, I can talk with an engineer, I can talk with a programmer. Not so much now, but I could. It's like I've lost that left brain logical thinking has gone and it's gone more right brain, imaginative and loving and all of that. So I do see that the way I process information isn't as easy as it used to be. But I could sit in a room with anybody, any scientist, and or any engineer, and have a conversation with them on any level and hold my weight. So I don't think that I'm a stupid person. So for me to have a more intellectual conversation with an uneducated person that's on a welfare system, it's almost like the sicker they are, the smarter they are.
Mm.
They're very, very intelligent people,
Mm.
but they are lack self-esteem, and the universe is saying you're stupid, so they reflect stupid.
Mm.
So it's really hard to introduce something new to build up their confidence. It's much easier to just take a pill,
Yeah.
take that alcohol, relieve that pain, than it is
Mm.
to sit in a room and find out I am good. There's something good about me. No, they will reject hearing anything good about them because they've been programmed to reject anything that says there is something good about you,
Mm.
especially if you're on a welfare system, because
Yeah.
all of society has been brainwashed to believe they are the social problem. The medical world labels them as the social problem. That's how they sell their pills.
Mm.
I mean, even get through Oprah. She's got eating problems, and
Definitely.
now she says it's a thyroid problem. So it took her how many years to get a medical community to say, Oprah, don't worry about your weight problem anymore. You don't have to get rid of that issue. You can't control it. It's a medical issue that you cannot control. Take a pill. So right away, she gained on weight saying, good, I don't ever have to worry about that problem anymore. So trying to get Oprah to even understand, you got a massive issue there that is reflected in every show that you put out. Every one of your aha moments is a lie because you don't want to deal with your core issue. She can seem all that loving and all of that giving and all of that, but she's talking to evil because she has that's the evil inside her that she doesn't want to face is the problem. Her weight issue. It'll always boil down to health. If you are not
Mm.
reflecting on the cause of your health, you are not finding self.
Mm.
But, but I mean, back to yeah, everybody's gone mad. It's one particular girl, really, really brilliant, brilliant girl that was living through a living nightmare. Politicians and police were backing up an abuser. Um, they were having court evidence to prove that she was crazy, and she wasn't. It was her ex, and her ex was father was the mayor, so they can't appear like they're criminals in any way, shape, or form, so they got the police really believing all of this evidence because they only see fractal pieces of what's going on. But I seen the whole picture. I seen exactly what was going on. And it was getting so severe that she started talking to herself. Who the hell else is going to listen to her? She's going to
Exactly.
start talking to herself because herself is the only one listening to her. But I would run up against her on the street and she'd be talking to herself. And I know that anytime she was doing that, she had something to say. Those were the times that was really important for her. Somebody needed to listen to her. So she would act really, really normal. But as soon as I gave her some love, gave her a hug and said something must be going on, I'm here for you. You know that the world is crazy and you're sane. Like as soon as she knew I was on her side, then all of a sudden she calmed down enough. Made perfect sense. She was a perfectly normal person that could communicate what her problem was, had some brilliant, insightful thing to say. Like, I mean, it's like prophesizing of the way the world should be. Like, genius stuff comes out at that moment in time.
Actually, I used to talk to myself a lot. Hell of a lot.
Out loud,
Hmm?
yeah. Looks crazy to the outside world.
I know that.
Looks sane to you, though, right?
Hmm.
But it's
I
like,
just couldn't have a conversation with anybody.
but that's what it is when you see that, and we'll label it as a mental illness, but it's not. It's society that just doesn't want to listen to what you got to say. And it's like, it's so freaking wrong. Somebody out there has to listen, even if it's you. And it's like, if I say it out loud, maybe it'll make it more real. Like, you could go insane with the thoughts being in your head that you've got to make it more real by saying it out loud. But still,
Hmm.
if you're the only one talking, it's still not, it is still a social problem. It's not, the patient does not have the problem. It's society that refuses to listen.
Hmm.
And at that particular time, I lived right underneath her. And like her, it was Christmas, and her ex was not paying his child support and his wages were getting garnished. Never visited the kids, never had any time for them, never spent any money, nothing. But she was always trying to get her kids to be with the father. So she had made arrangements for the kids to spend Christmas with them. Like, she spent a lot of time trying to arrange this. He never returned the kids. And she is on a disability. Um, Her childhood was very abusive. So they've labeled her with bipolar because some of the situations and how she handled it as a child. I mean, when you abuse a child and they come at you with anger, then you look at these kids as having a discipline problem or, behavior problem. No, just look at what made that behavior. Something
What
bad
is
is going.
bipolar?
To me, I think it's a very, very positive